Let's just picture this for a second. You're sinking in quicksand, arms flailing, screaming for someone to pull you out, but deep down there's this cold, quiet thought, no one's coming. You know why? Because you've been digging that pit yourself, one excuse at a time. That feeling, that trap, that's what we're tearing apart today. This right here, this is the hidden trap of waiting for a savior. We're about to get real, maybe a little uncomfortable, as we unpack the 11 signs that you're waiting for a hero who simply doesn't exist. But hey, this isn't about pointing fingers. This is about liberation. This is your map to self-rescue. So what's at the root of all this? Well, psychologists have a name for it: victim mentality. It's often tangled up with codependency, too. These are those sneaky voices in your head that whisper, don't try, stay small, stay safe. But what if just seeing them for what they are is the first step to rewriting your entire story? Let's get into sign number 1.
Okay, sign number 1. You blame everybody else for every single setback. Didn't get that promotion? Oh, it's obviously the boss's fault. He plays favorites. Relationship ended? Well, they were the problem 100%. This isn't just venting, you know? It's a shield. It's what psychologists call an external locus of control, a fancy way of saying you've handed the remote control of your life to everyone else.
Blaming other people feels kind of good for a second, right? It's safe. But that comfort is actually a cage. So you have to ask yourself this tough question. When did my choices suddenly become their crime? If you find yourself waiting for someone else to apologize so you can move on, that's your sign. The rescue mission begins with taking ownership. And that blame game leads us straight into sign number 2. You feel completely and utterly powerless. It feels like life is just a casino and all the games are rigged against you. So why even bother playing? This feeling usually comes from something called learned helplessness, where failures from your past have basically trained you to believe that nothing you do now will ever make a difference. You remember that time you froze up, too scared to act? That feeling has an echo, and it's whispering to you right now, just wait. Just wait for a wave to come lift you up. But here's the gut punch. Power is never given. It is claimed. So what's one small step that absolutely terrifies you today? Go take it. You don't need a knight in shining armor for that. Which brings us right to sign number 3. You stay in toxic situations way too long. That job that drains your soul, that partner who makes you feel small, you just stay put, hoping it'll all magically get better. This is where codependency loves to hang out, making the idea of being alone seem so much scarier than the actual suffering you're in. But here's the hard truth. No one is coming to storm the castle for you. You've had the key the entire time. And here's sign number 4. You're constantly looking for validation. Your career choices, your creative ideas, even what you wear, everything has to be approved by a committee before you can move forward. This desperate need for a thumbs up comes from a place of deep self-doubt, where your entire sense of self-worth is outsourced to others. And man, is it exhausting. It's like begging for crumbs when you're sitting at a banquet. And if you want to see what that looks like, just look at this chart. This is where your energy is going. It's kind of shocking, right? A massive 90% is poured into worrying about what they think, leaving just a tiny 10% for what you actually want. That is a terrible waste of your most valuable resource, your focus. So let me ask you a question, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. If no one was watching, if no one was there to clap for you, would you still dance? Think about it. It's time to take back your own approval. Your yes is the only applause that should ever really matter. All right, on to sign number 5. This one is sneaky. You self-sabotage over and over again. You get on a roll with a new healthy habit, and then you just stop. You have a huge opportunity at work, and you procrastinate until it's too late. Listen, this isn't laziness. It's a twisted, subconscious attempt to prove that you're not enough, so that you still need that outside motivator to push you. It's basically your soul sending out an SOS signal. Now, sign 6 can be a tough pill to swallow. You resent other people's success. You're scrolling through your phone and you see their perfect vacation photo, and it feels like a personal attack. That little voice that screams, "Why them and not me?" That's the victim mentality at work. It turns a world of abundance into a tiny, scarce pie, and it just leaves you feeling bitter and alone. But the truth is, their light doesn't make yours any dimmer, unless you decide to let it. Okay, let's talk about sign 7. That inner critic is just relentlessly negative. You're not good enough, you're going to fail anyway. It's like having a tyrant for a roommate inside your own head. This voice is just an echo of old hurts, and its main job is to kill your hope, making it seem like a rescue is the only way out. But if you listen really closely, you'll realize that voice is a total liar. It's just fear wearing a mask. And that inner tyrant? It leads directly to sign number 8. You obsess over what other people think. Did they like me? What did they really mean by that text? This obsession is a total energy vampire, and it's where codependency really sinks its teeth in. So take a moment and ask yourself, whose script am I even following anymore? Is it mine or one that was written for me by a cast of thousands? Sign 9 is a bit more subtle, but it's powerful. You shut down any help that challenges your narrative. A therapist gives you a new way to look at things. Nope, that won't work for me. A friend gently calls you out. You just don't understand. See, that defensiveness is all about protecting the victim throne, that comfortable place where you get a lot of sympathy. But you have to remember, real, meaningful growth is always hiding on the other side of discomfort. This brings us to a moment of really brutal honesty. I want you to ask yourself this question and just sit with the answer. Am I curating my pain for applause? Am I holding on to these hard stories because I like the sympathy I get from them? It's a tough one, I know, but finding the answer is one of the most freeing things you can do. Which leads us to sign number 10. You fantasize about a savior. You know, the perfect partner who will finally get you. The amazing mentor who will open all the right doors. That lottery ticket that will solve all your problems. These daydreams feel nice, but they're just a sweet escape from taking personal responsibility. Reality, on the other hand, demands your participation. And by the way, your cape, it's been in your closet this whole time. And finally, we have sign 11. You milk your misfortunes for attention. You tell the same sad stories over and over, not because you're trying to heal, but because you're chasing those little hits of, oh, you poor thing. It's an addiction to sympathy that might feel good for a second, but in the long run, it just keeps you trapped and isolated. So ask yourself, are the stories I tell building bridges to people, or are they just barriers keeping me stuck? So there you have it. 11 signs that you've been waiting for someone else to step in. And when you look at all of them together, they all point to one stark, unavoidable truth. No one's coming. Because you don't need anyone to. You are already here. This is the big reveal. This is the revolution. You are the hero you've been waiting for. You are the storm, and you are the rescue. And this slide lays it out perfectly. Look, this is the fundamental choice. Over here, you've got the trap, a cycle of blame, feeling powerless, and just waiting. And over here, this is the revolution. It's ownership, it's action, and it's finally actually thriving. If you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. You have survived 100% of your worst days. Let that sink in. You are undefeated. Now just imagine what it would feel like to spend the rest of your days thriving, not just surviving. You're not broken, you're just breaking free. You don't have to fix everything at once. Just start small. Pick the one sign from this list that hit you the hardest, the one that made you wince a little, and then decide on one tiny action you can take right now. Write about it. Tell someone you trust. Own it. So, which sign was it for you? Let that be where your revolution begins.